Your uni, your team. From kick-off to the final whistle. This is the Shock Radio Sports Show.
Hello and welcome back. This is your Wednesday Sports Show. I'm joined by
Archie. It's brilliant to be here.
Good. A debut for you this week, isn't it?
It is. I feel like it's been a long time coming, but I feel like after Newcastle's loss, I've come to protect my fellow Geordies.
Yeah, as you'll see on Shock TV on the YouTube, he's got a Newcastle jumper on. But we'll be talking about Salford. England women, they've just announced their squad. Manchester City, Manchester United, and possibly Formula 1 as they had their car launch yesterday. But first up, a little bit of Sam Fender. Yes, that was Blossoms with Perfect Me, and before that, we had Sam Fender with a little bit of arm's length. Actually, we're going to start with Salford today. They lost to Wimbledon 1-0 at the weekend. Do you want to give us your thoughts on that?
To be fair, I feel like it's not that bad of a result. Wimbledon, obviously, they were fourth going into the fixture. I think they're third or second now. And only 1-0 to lose away against. They were on form, they're a good team. But we just couldn't really get shots off. I just think they lack a goal scorer particularly. With obviously, they've got Cole Stockton, who's good, but he's just not consistent. He's hardly scored recently. He had a good run end of November, early December. But I feel like if they wanted to push on and secure the playoffs, which is sit just outside at the minute, I feel like they just had to get someone who was more reliable. And all the top teams have got a top striker, and Salford is way below in like the top scorer charts and all that.
They don't have a top scorer, but they defend very well and conceding. I think it is 29 or 30 in the league. I'll double check that. But should they have done better in January then and brought in a good level striker to help them push on? Because they're now sat just outside the playoffs for League Two. That's got to be the aim, hasn't it?
Yeah, like you can't just... We've seen there's countless examples of you can't just sit back and defend and expect to go up. I feel like they play... Obviously, they're solid defensively, but that's more of a way to stay in the league. Like if they got promoted, then obviously you want that defensive record to be good. And they do say defence is the best form of attack, but if you just can't score, then it's not great. Like they hardly had any shots against Wimbledon. I think they had like 6, and they just didn't even come close to scoring. So I feel like they just had to get a striker, and because you can't. He's 30 years old as well, so who knows when his legs are going to go. And I feel like it's more. You need more a proven goal scorer than taking a risk on anyone at the minute.
Yeah, Salford have only scored 38 and they've conceded 30, so they're only 8 goals up.
Yeah,
and they've drawn 9 and lost 9. They've won 13. You'd really want to be winning about 16, 17 and pushing on. They are at 1 point outside the playoffs on 48. Crew sit on 49 in 7th. Looking at the form, post-Christmas Salford, do you still think promotion is possible? They've drawn 3, won 1 and lost 1 in the last 5.
Promotion is definitely possible. Like you can ever write a team off. Form can click. Like you can click in the click. You can switch in the click of the fingers, and you can't ever write teams off, especially in League Two where it's so unpredictable. And players, all they need is one player to get a good bit of form, score a few goals, and they'll be fine. They've got Port Vale next, who obviously that's a 6-pointer in the playoffs. I feel like if they win, they can kick on from there, and you just got to hope that they can have a strong end to the season and hopefully finally get into League One.
Yeah, they've got Port Vale, Bradford, then Crewe as the next couple of fixtures.
We've got Bradford. I think I'm hoping to be in the away end for that. I've got all my mates that support Bradford have all got all their loyalty points. So I'm hoping to get a Salford away game.
That'll be good. So I've been to many Salford games.
I've only been to a few. I've got a co-worker at work who's a massive Salford fan. And, well, we had a work night out to a Salford game, which our standard was working for. But I've been told that it's just 14-year-old children screaming abuse at the goalkeeper is what he finds his entertainment with. Which I feel like that can help, because especially when you're so close to the pitch.
Yeah, it's a really, really tight stadium. Salford do, to be fair, get the numbers in. Behind the goals, one's the away end, one's the home end, and the away end's always packed. The home end behind the goal is always packed as well. And
yeah.
It's great. I really like going to watch Salford. They get a good atmosphere, good crowd. The music before the game and at half-time, which it's music that I like as well, so it's good.
But it does make a massive difference, especially because obviously it's not the biggest ground compared to like the Bradford City Stadium and all that kind of stuff. But obviously you don't get the same atmosphere when you can speak individually to players. So I think call out to Salford fans, try getting the players' heads, try put them off, and see if you can help the team win.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an aim for the fans. Get in the ground, make it a bit hostile, make it harder to go there and take points or score goals even. Because like they have only conceded 30, but they're not scoring many either, are they?
Nah. I feel like there's just obviously it could just come like next game you could see him score 4 or 5. That's the way we've seen with Salford at the minute. But you just got to kick on. I think they just need to play more positive. They need to get a bit of confidence in them after this poor streak, which obviously it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just takes one result and the season could be changed. They could be pushing the top of the playoffs for all we know. But as long as they get in there, I feel like they'll have a chance to get through. And I think once they get to League One, they should be able to stay up there and they can really kick on from there.
Like I said, Cole Stockton's only got 9 goals. And to be a starting striker, that's not enough and nowhere near. The second highest is 7. There's no one on double digits yet. And if they're serious about going up, they need a striker who's going to provide 20 goals for them.
Yeah.
And they probably need a backup who's going to do about 15. And they're not getting that at the minute. Obviously, there's still 13 games to go in the season, 14 games. So there's still time to score them goals and still time to get the points on the board, rise the table. Because as we've seen, Salford went from mid-table before Christmas and rose to 2nd and 3rd. And now they're sitting 8th. And 8th is probably the right position for them.
Yeah. I'd say they're obviously a yo-yo team up and down the league. Form is a massive factor. But I feel like once they get the consistency down, they really will be a top team in League Two. If they don't go up this season, I really feel like they have a chance. As long as they can keep hold of everyone and just upgrade in the necessary areas, I feel like they really could kick on and they could become a solidified League One team. You don't know where they're going to end up because obviously they're like Gary Neville, Paul Scholes owns all that stuff. I feel like their money can take you so far, but if they really want to kick on, they're going to have to get some big investment for if they do eventually get up into League One to play with the big boys in the Championship and all that kind of stuff.
If we speak about promotion for a minute, Kyle Robinson came in January last year and Salford finished 20th. Now they're sitting 8th. There's obvious progress. Is promotion maybe getting a bit ahead of ourselves?
I don't think it is, to be honest. Like, you see teams that can go from like really good, really bad to really good, and I just feel like because League Two is so unpredictable, you could like there have been like instances where teams have gone from the bottom of the league to the top of the league, and I feel like it's all form in League Two. That's the way I see it. It's all about who's playing well at what time. But obviously the season, no matter where they finish, it is an amazing season, especially that they did spend some time right at the top of the table. Like, you're not going to see any Salford fans complaining about his job that he's done. And I feel like it's a good way to make Salford seen as a proper team. Obviously, there's speculation about how they've moved up and all the owners and stuff. Some people don't fully respect them and all that kind of thing. But I feel like they really can. I think they can't be written off as, it's just a bit of luck that they're up there. I feel like they're there, and I think they're there to stay now, to be honest.
Yeah, if we do look at promotion, Walsall sitting top of the tree, 63 points, and there's a 7-point gap to Wimbledon in second. I think Walsall are nailed on. But you look at probably 2nd to 7th, there's 7 points between them. And yeah, that's only a couple of games.
Anything can happen. All it takes is just a few wins on the bounce, other teams to drop a few points. But it is the games like this weekend against Port Vale where they're the 6-pointers. They're the real games which you have to win if you want to go up. Because it's all good beating the teams in the lower half, but especially when you sit outside the playoffs, the other teams are going to beat the bad teams as well. So you need to beat the teams you're competing against especially, and then who knows, we can kick on. Maybe we top of playoffs. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, they've got Port Vale on Saturday, away, 3 o'clock kick-off. What's your prediction for that game?
It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. No one's saying it's not going to be. I think they would. I feel like a draw would be. You wouldn't complain with a draw, especially with the form that we're in. But I feel like you do want to see a win. It is away, which will be tough, especially. But I feel like you would want to win a game like that and try and get your confidence back up. Yeah,
Port Vale sits 6th in the league table. They've got the similar goal difference to Salford, and the results are they've just won more. They've won 14 compared to Salford's 13. They've drawn 1 more and they've lost less. And it's going to be a tricky challenge going there, but I think if Salford get a draw or any more, that'll be a positive. As long as they don't lose, because there's a good chasing pack here. Like Grimsby sit on the same amount of points as Salford, and Chesterfield are only 6 behind, so a little slip from Salford, and they could see themselves falling right down the table.
Oh yes, where I've been saying that it only takes a few wins to make the playoffs. All it takes is a few losses and we'll plummet down the table.
Yeah, and your season's over then.
Exactly, because it is so hard to catch up, especially when there's so many teams in a close proximity to the playoffs, especially, and most of them are in good form at the minute. So you've just got to keep it going. Don't lose at the weekend. Don't let your heads drop, especially. And I feel like the fans shouldn't add pressure to the players, as obviously they're doing so well compared to last season and previous seasons for them. But I feel like they just need a big result and it can all change.
Yeah, if you are a Salford fan and you are listening to Shock Radio, get your thoughts in on 07729 720 708 and we'll read them out live on air. What your thoughts on Salford's season so far, and what are your expectations come May when the playoffs are going? That's Salford. We're going to have a little bit of Kasabian. We'll come back and we'll talk about Manchester City. That was Comeback Kid by Kasabian. Sorry if you heard any blue language there. We're going to move on to Manchester City. They played Newcastle at the weekend, and our resident Newcastle fan, Archie's here.
Yes.
Do you want me to let you fill everyone in on what happened?
Yeah, so basically, I went in with high hopes. Me and my dad, I was with my dad the night before. We were saying, yeah, we're going to pack City in. They weren't playing well. Like, their confidence was low, and then in typical Newcastle favour, we got absolutely schooled, to be honest. Marmoush turned into Prime Aguero somehow when he's not scored since joining. We saw the Marmoush from the Bundesliga, obviously. The game was over after 35 minutes after the hat-trick, obviously. But I do respect it. I don't think it's as bad as people were saying it was. Obviously, we've not beat City at home in the league in God knows how long.
Donkey's years.
Yeah, we beat them in 2014 in the Cup. But apart from that, we never win at the Etihad. But we went in positive, like, for their first goal, where the keeper obviously lifted over our entire team. I get what we're trying to do. We moved Fabian Schär up the pitch. Like, against Arsenal in the FA Cup, we did that. And then he tackled Declan Rice outside his own box from a goal kick, and Anthony Gordon scored. But obviously, Arsenal don't play the same as City. They haven't got the kicking that Ederson's got, and I feel like we underestimate them a bit. Like, we went in playing like we were the favourites, and then City obviously were like the City of old, just stringing passes together, holding the ball outside our box for 10 minutes straight without doing anything with it.
It was an aggressive. The first goal, should talk about that, because it was an aggressive, like, it wasn't a press because you didn't press Ederson, and I think that's where your issue came. If you pressed Ederson, it wouldn't have had the time to ping it. You pushed everyone upfield and went man for man, which is probably the right thing to do against City, not give them the time. But because you went man for man, you left yourself one-on-one at the back.
Yeah.
And Marmoush just is rapid. He's a rapid forward, and he latched onto the end of it, and it was a good finish in the end. Nothing Pope could have done.
It was, yeah. But I don't know what we expect when we leave Trippier marking him, because Trippier can't jump. He's tiny. He's old. His legs have left him pretty much. Reportedly, we've been trying to sell him the last 3 transfer windows to Galatasaray. However much truth there is in that. But apparently they offered 3 million or something, and you're not going to sell Trippier for 3 million, realistically.
Not that desperate. But like you said, the 4-0, it's a bad result, losing 4-0, to no matter who you lose to. Losing to Manchester City takes a bit of the sting off it, reigning 4-time champions. But you, as a Newcastle fan, you are in a bit of a rebuilding stage. Like, your team isn't as perfect as you all thought it would be with a takeover. No.
So, obviously, with all the financial fair play stuff and all that coming in, obviously, we've been restricted. We have had some big money signings like Isaac, Tonali, Hugo Mahrez, and they have all been really good. Like, our recruitment, I can't think of a single bad signing, really.
I know how good Isaac is because he keeps saving my FPL.
Yeah.
And he didn't score this week, and I've had an absolute stinker.
He does seem, he has been carrying the last few months. Since he had a dodgy start to the season where he wasn't looking great, and then obviously November, December, January, he was scoring pretty much every game. Was it 9 in a row or something like that he got in the end?
He's my favourite player to watch in the league at the minute because he's, like, Haaland's a bit of an old school forward where he's strong, he's physical, he'll back into you.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do much more than that. Whereas Isaac does that, and he's also a great channel runner. His first touch is great. He's got a nice link-up play. He's really a bit of a mix between a winger and a forward, and that's what I quite like about him. He's really exciting to watch.
He does drop back a lot. Like, I remember he was either last season or season before against Everton. He dropped back behind our own halfway line. We had Gordon miles up the pitch, and he just picked it up, ran all down the wing, skilled off 3-4 players, and then just pulled it back. And it shows that Haaland, I think, is definitely a better out-and-out striker, because if he gets a chance, 99% of the time, you put your money on him to score. But Isaac, when he gets the ball, he can assist, he can dribble, he can pass. He's very direct, he'll always run forward. He knows where to be, he's got the striker's instincts. And I feel like news from Daily Mail today is that we're planning on keeping all our star players, even if we don't get Champions League.
You should. You're developing a really nice team. You're getting a nice spine. I really like Fabian Schär. Dan Burn, even though he might be a bit old now, still a solid centre-half. Your midfield, Tonali and Guimaraes, your 2 star players, and then you've got Willock and Joe Linton probably aren't to the standard that you want.
Oh, God, no, Joe Linton is brilliant. I'm not taking no Joe Linton slander.
Could you improve on Joe Linton?
No.
You don't think you could?
No, Joe Linton is amazing. As a centre mid, he'll smash into anyone, he'll nick the ball off you, he'll back the team in fights. I love Joe Linton. If you said that to my dad, I think he'd probably throw the chair at you. He's the biggest fanboy I've ever seen.
I think what Eddie Howe's done with Joe Linton, turning him from this thuggish striker who got clowned,
terrible.
basically. He was an awful striker, and this midfielder who's like this all-action box-to-box midfielder is great. And then Anthony Gordon, loving watching him at the minute. I think he's great. Isak, we've obviously just discussed him. 17 goals, 5 assists. He's your best player by a country mile.
Yeah,
and then
it is Isak. The whole team, they're all good on the day. We're just not consistent enough. Because we can go from dominating Arsenal home and away, beating them 4-0 in aggregate, beating United away. Sorry to bring that up. And then we just get beat by full amount of bad team, but we get beaten comfortably by Fulham. We get battered 4-0 by Bournemouth. Like obviously Bournemouth are good, they're both good, but they're teams that we should be Bournemouth are above us, so I can't really slander them too much. But you don't expect to be beaten 4-1 at home to 4-0 at home to Bournemouth and all that.
Is that not a product of how competitive the league is though? Because if we just move back to City, City's form since probably November has been so up and down. Losing 5-1 to Arsenal, then they go away to Leyton Orient and go 1-0 down, and it takes a good while for them to get back into the game. Then they lose 3-2 to Real Madrid in a game that they were winning, and a bit of the Real Madrid magic saved them. Then they beat you lot 4-0, and it's like everyone in the league is beating everyone, everyone's losing to everyone, and it's really competitive.
It is. I think it's good because we are seeing more teams come up. Because if you told me last season that City would be struggling and like around the teams like Bournemouth, Forest obviously doing amazing, but City, like the amount of money that they spend, you would expect them to just walk through the league again. Because every transfer they're spending over 100 million.
Well, they've just spent 200 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
In January, which is unheard of. Signed Haaland to a mega contract.
Yeah. Well, you know they're not going to get any. They're not going to get sent down to National League for that.
We know these charges aren't going to come to anything if they're spending like that.
Yeah. But City, they're just... Look at their form now. They lost 5-1 away to Arsenal, which is a terrible result, especially with all the...
Did you watch that game?
I did. I watched it in the student union with my Man City friend.
It was a weird game because for 60 minutes, nothing happened. Apart from, I say nothing happened. The 2 goals happened. But no team wanted it, and Arsenal just sort of kicked on, and City couldn't deal with them, which is something we've never said about an Arsenal City game so far.
City have always been... You've never been able to just dominate City until this season, where it's happened a decent few times now. But I feel like it is quite self-inflicted, the City form. Like, they have been up, I can't remember what stat it was, but they have been up lots of times, 2-0 up, and then it's just fallen to pieces.
Well, you look at the Feyenoord game from before Christmas, 3-0 up, and they lose, they draw 3 apiece. Real Madrid recently, they were winning, and they do play Real Madrid tonight.
PSG.
PSG
against them.
We'll just discuss that Real Madrid game from last week. They were winning 2-1. Mbappe scored first for Real Madrid. Haaland scored twice for City, and then they conceded in the 86th and the 92nd and lose 3-2. And tonight they've got to go away at the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
What do you expect from that game?
It's just not good. If you're going to go to the Bernabeu, you need a 2-goal lead at least at home.
At minimum.
Yeah.
Especially in the Champions League.
Yeah, because they're just turning into a different team in the Champions League. It's quite ridiculous. But I feel like I'm just expecting... I'm half expecting City to score an early goal and look like they're going to come back. But then I feel like Real Madrid is going to... 3-1, just simple... City out the Champions League trophyless season is what I expect from
tonight.
Which is something I think I'd never say, a City trophyless City campaign. But it's a new time for them, really. But I feel like it won't last. Next season, I feel like they'll get Rodri back, obviously. They'll spend another 200 million, sign some of the best players in the world, and then it'll be back to City top of the league.
Is Rodri the reason why City are in awful form, or is it because this team's been found out?
I don't know. I never thought Rodri was that good. Like, when he was winning the Ballon d'Or, my mates at home saying, yeah, he's clearly the best player in the world, City and nothing without him. And I just thought he was just, he's all right. Like, obviously he's a world-class player, but he's not the difference maker is what I didn't think. Like, he don't get loads of goals, he don't get loads of assists, he doesn't stop loads of goals. But I think it has proved that, obviously they've had injuries, but it has literally been the second Rodri's left the team. It's all just gone wrong for him.
He is a match winner, though. You look at that goal in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
He comes up clutch more often than he doesn't for City. And you look at like the 3-0, where they were 3-0 against Feyenoord, and they ended up drawing 3 apiece, and games like that, where he's a calming presence, and he is a match winner. And them two things combined have seen City win the lot over the past 4 seasons. And the first thing they don't have that, they seem to crumble a little bit.
I feel like they just need him, as you say, it's a really good point about the calming presence. I feel like just when he gets past the ball, the whole team like kind of goes, because you know that he's not going to lose it. They're not panicking about like to play a quick pass. They know that he's going to make the pass. They know he's going to find the right pass. And I feel like they've got the like to Gundogan and stuff, but they're just not really on the same level as they expected him to be, particularly.
Yeah. I was going to say that. Is it not that Rodri is a big miss, but the fact that the midfielders around him aren't good enough? Because you look at Gundogan and Kovacic are the two starting midfielders normally. Then you've got Rico Lewis and John Stones who can play midfield and are filling in from. And you compare them to Rodri, and it is night and day. There's no contest.
Yeah, I feel like obviously they signed that Gonzalez bloke in the summer. How good he's going to be. He played quite well against us, but obviously you don't know, especially in the Portuguese league, of how he's going to turn out with the physicality of the Prem and all those stuff. But I feel like Gundogan and Kovacic are a bit old. They're not particularly active. They are good. Don't get me wrong. They would start for pretty much every Prem team.
They're cracking footballers,
yeah.
But they're not the young athletic players that they were a couple of years ago.
I feel like I want to say they lack that because they have got some really good. Obviously, they've got young forwards and stuff, and they just signed that Kawazanov or Smith that they nicked off us.
Yeah,
the centre half.
Yeah.
He had a horror debut, didn't he? Bless him. But I feel like the team's not kicking on as much as like Liverpool. But I feel like they just need Gonzalez might be that player for all we know. But I feel like they do need the Rodri replacement. They probably need another centre half for when General John Stone starts kicking on a bit. But I don't think they've got anything to worry about, to be honest. I feel like they'll be fine.
No. If you are a City fan and you have a complaint about what we've said, don't agree with us, or you do agree with us, or you just want your opinion shared, message us on WhatsApp on 07729 720 708. What are your thoughts on tonight then? I'll ask you for a prediction. Real Madrid against Man City. Away at the Bernabeu. Do you see City getting a result and getting through? You are shaking your head.
No. Like, with Real Madrid are always the people that come back and get the historic nights. They're not on the opposite end of it. Real Madrid, I think they're just going to comfortably win 3-1, something like that. What do you think?
I don't know. I have a feeling it'll go like the first leg. City score first, have the intent, and Real Madrid just come out of nowhere. Because they just, weirdly, they are that team in the Champions League. Like, Liverpool were it for a while where they'd just be awful in everything else. In Champions League, they just show up. And Real Madrid have been that team since the tournament started. And I do think that'll carry on, if I'm honest. I think Real Madrid will probably win tonight. And even if they don't, a draw will see them through.
Yeah.
And there's no away goals anymore, so City have got to score 3 at a minimum.
At the Bernabeu.
Yeah. Which
it's just not going to happen.
It's unheard of. Like, I've never known a Real Madrid team to be losing and then not win, or win then not lose. It's like, even go back a decade or so, when I'm sure it was a quarter final. This is proper, like, listening
like your football trivia.
Yeah, listening to it on the radio in my brother's car. 3-0 down to Juventus, and does Ronaldo score a hat trick?
Don't ask me, mate. I haven't got
and
a clue.
And the last one's a penalty. I'll come back to us on that.
Well, we'll see if you're correct. But I feel like the one chance City have got is if the controversy of this whole Bellingham red card, and they've been in the papers a lot, and obviously they did lose their heads a bit that game. I feel like that's the one chance they can have, is if Real Madrid aren't in the right mindset.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think if Real Madrid show a little slip or something like that, then City will pounce, and they've got that. They do have that killer instinct.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. City, obviously, you can't write them off. They've been the best team in England for about solid 10 years or something now. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, we've done Manchester City, we've done Salford. We're going to move on to a little bit of Charlie Brown by Coldplay, as requested by producer Walkden, and then we'll get back and we'll talk about what is going on at Manchester United.
I can't wait for this.
That was Coldplay with Charlie Brown, a request of Mr. Producer, Mr. Walkden, and we're going to move on to Manchester United and whatever is going on over there. I'm a United fan, and, well, it's a bit upsetting as someone does something daft outside the studio. I don't think upsetting is the right term. It's just used to it now. It's just a bit like, ugh.
The amount of tweets I've seen, you're sick if you're enjoying this Man United downfall.
And then it's a picture of Stephen Bunting in hospital or something like that.
Well, everyone's loving. I am personally absolutely loving this Man United downfall. I've been looking forward to this.
United lost 1-0 to Tottenham, if you're not aware. Was it a good result? Was it a good game? The answer to both are no. Tottenham weren't great either. United were awful. But to be fair to United, Garnacho missed a big sitter.
Oh,
One-on-one with the keeper, skies it over the bar. He's going for power, and he just thumps it. And
he misses by a long way as well.
Yeah.
It's not like he was close. It was miles away.
He just wants to square it, basically.
Yeah.
Or even just a little placement into the far corner.
It's literally what you're told as a kid, placement over power. You get it in the far corner, the keeper's not going to save it.
No.
And he just goes for the spectacular and tries to smash it as hard as he
And
can.
even if Vicario did save it, I think it was Vicario, wasn't it? The angle on the shot is palming it into danger.
Exactly. It's like Madison's goal, bro. Not on a. I think he could have done better and done a stronger palm away. But he
Yeah,
palmed
I
it
do.
Right into it. It is literally a prime example of just get it on target and see where the ball ends up after that.
Yeah, sometimes you do just have to gamble and see. Like Onana's save, is it a good save? Yeah. Can he? No, I think any save
No.
with Onana, any save's a good save.
Fair
But
enough.
The save's good, getting down low and getting across, but the palming of it away, that's the bit that lets him down. Like you said,
Yeah.
it should go across the other side of the goal.
Yeah, as far away as possible, so that
Yeah.
at least it's a hard angle. But it was literally the easiest tapping of Madison's life.
At the same time, I'll back Onana, as I used to play in goalkeepers union. The defenders, why we're not tracking the men.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Madison, you've got to give it to him. Good initiative, fox in the box. Goes around the outside of Delit, if I can get my words out. But what have United got to do to come out of this? Because this is genuinely terrible form. Sat 15th in the table.
I don't know what they can do. They've got one of the most on-form managers in the world before he joined, obviously.
He was happy in Portugal. It was sunny. It was sunny in Portugal.
He's absolutely... The weather here especially, he's been absolutely regretting this move. I can guarantee it. It's just not gone well. Obviously, it'll take a while for his tactics to all... you can't hit the ground running when he plays such a unique tactic.
Yeah, we've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other. And
Yeah.
knowing Manchester United over the past couple of years, I cannot wait for the day where the players throw him under the bus, it doesn't work for Amorim, and then we go from a coach that plays 3 at the back with 2 number 10s and a striker, and we buy like someone who loves a 4-3-3 and plays out and out wingers, and we've got no wingers. I can't wait for that day.
You got Anthony. He's still on your books.
Yeah, he's out on loan.
He's doing well, to be fair. I swear he's got a goal involvement in every game he's played or something.
He scored a cracking goal on the volley the other day.
Yeah,
Anthony's not a bad player. As someone changes the screen behind me, Anthony's not a bad player, but the 100 million price tag was never fair.
Was it that big? I thought it was only like 60.
No, it was like.
Was it that big?
It was like 100. Yeah, I think add-ons included, it reaches 100. I think
That's terrible.
normally it's something like 81.
I didn't know that.
Even then, it's a bit the Harry Maguire about him. A good footballer, yeah. Deserved of the price tag, no. Deserved of the scrutiny that comes with the price tag, no.
Yes, he is. He's deserved the scrutiny. He's been terrible.
He has been terrible.
has.
He has been terrible, but he gets more stick because of the price tag.
Yeah, but he doesn't help himself as well. Like it's in the clip where he lifts up his shirt before the match even starts to say like.
I
"Rest in
was
peace" to
there for
someone.
the Europa League game in his first season where he does the spin then passes it out at the pitch.
Out of play.
Yeah, and it was so funny. I got them tickets for free, and
Yeah.
I tell you what, I would have paid just to see that.
It would be a good thing to see live. I went to my first ever Man U game. I saw the FC20 game, which I think you won 2-1 in it. Did you win or did you draw?
Was it this year?
Yeah.
We drew one apiece.
Did you draw
I
one?
think Ericsson scored and then they scored.
Yeah.
I went to that one as well.
Yeah, but I feel like
Go on.
Old Trafford used to be somewhere where you thought, oh, we're off to Old Trafford, we're not going to pick a result now. But you've lost so many times at home.
I fear going there, to be honest. We're getting food poisoning off some of the chicken.
It don't look great, does it?
No.
Seen some horror photos on Twitter.
Yeah. But United next play Everton, 12:30 kick-off on Saturday.
They're good under Moyes as well.
Everton are really good under Moyes. They're really good to watch. David Moyes is another manager in the same ilk of Harry Maguire, where they just get clowned, and in reality they're actually all right.
Because of his one-man U spell, people just
maybe it's
laugh
just
at him.
United. Maybe
It's just United. It's a rotten club to the core, and anyone that goes there, your career is doomed. Give me a single successful transfer that has been included with Man United.
Bruno Fernandes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
You found one. Any more?
Included with Manchester United. The transfers away from Manchester United are always successful.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, the transfer's in, but
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know. I don't understand how it just seems to always happen. Like
I just think it's one of them where the shirt weighs heavier, the expectation's higher, and it's probably the highest expectation in England, and then it's Liverpool, and I think even between United and Liverpool give a lot of leeway to their players. Like they had some absolute dross. If you look, even where they challenged under Brendan Rodgers just over a decade ago, that team is not a title-winning team at all. There's some awful players in there, and you look now, that squad's a good squad, but there's Trent's a great player, but he's still not that good, and they give him so much leeway.
Trent.
Nah, listen.
Trent's a footballer. He's a very good player.
Can you improve on Trent?
Um,
There's a reason he didn't start the other day.
who started?
Connor Bradley started over him. Against Everton, Connor Bradley started over him.
Is it?
Yeah, because he can't defend.
He can't defend. But
He
then
can't defend, and as Roy Keane says, that's his job.
That's his job.
That's his job.
That's his job.
United against Everton then. If we get it a little bit back on track and stop doing Roy Keane quotes. Prediction, R12 kick-off. Never bet on the lunchtime kick-off, is it?
Where is it? Old Trafford or?
No,
Goodison?
it's at Goodison.
It's at Goodison.
Yeah.
Well, be up for it after that draw with Liverpool, won't they?
100%. 100%.
I reckon you. I don't think you'll win. I think you might get a draw, but it wouldn't surprise me if Everton just embarrassed you, to be honest.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I'm not going to predict United to lose, but I'm going to go a scrappy 1-0.
What, win?
Yep.
You think you're going to win 1-0?
You can't predict your own team to lose.
Yeah, too fair.
Scrappy 1-0 win. Yeah.
But, I don't know, United, it just seems like it's just not going to go well, to be
No.
honest. The season's a write-off. You're still in the FA Cup, aren't you?
Sadly. But not
Sadly,
sadly.
no. You could do all right in
We didn't
that.
deserve to be in it. We've been
Yeah.
awful. It's like last year. We were awful in it until the final, and the final we played the best game ever.
And then Ten Hag got a mega contract. And I saw this in news because your books got announced, didn't they? And you paid.
Oh my God!
It was bad.
It's bad. There's a reason United are wrongly cutting jobs, but there's a reason for it, and it's the fact that there is no money. Like 20 million to get rid of Dan Ashworth and Ten Hag.
Yeah.
On top of, I think we owe 180 million in transfer debt at the end of the year, which is mental. And the club was just sailing towards. It was never going to go bust, but it was sailing towards real financial ruin.
Yeah.
And that can't happen.
If you're not lucky, then you will end up staying where you are, staying down there.
Yeah.
If everyone decides to leave and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I have to wait and see.
We have covered the atrocity that is Manchester United. It is poor at the minute, and it's sad because you do. I'm a United fan, of course. I want to be at the top, but it's better. It's better for English football if
No,
you.
it's not.
That's what it's based on. Your
No.
rivalries. Everyone hates United. It'd be
so
so much better.
just everyone beats them, so everyone's loving life because you're losing to everyone.
No. We're going to go a bit of Kings of Leon, and then we'll talk about the England women's squad. Yes, that was Kings of Leon with You Somebody, a band that I've seen many times, and they're bloody brilliant every single time.
I haven't seen them. I want to see them.
They're great. I saw them at Silverstone.
Is it? I bet that
Yeah.
was mega.
Yeah, I went watching the F1 last summer, and they were on then, which was a real surprise, to be fair. Pete Tong's IB for Classics was on as well, and Stormzy was on, and it was
It's a good lineup for an F1 event, though, isn't it?
yeah, such an eclectic mix. But we're going to move on to the England women's squad that was announced this week ahead of their games against Portugal and Spain. Spain are the reigning world champions.
Yeah. Just got to try and get a result against Spain. Spain, obviously, I think they're world number 2 or something like that. It's going to be tough, but I back the Lionesses. They'll do the country proud.
You've got to do. But if you look at the Euros coming up, what do you expect from England? Because we've seen them win it. They won the last one, didn't they?
2021, they won.
Yeah.
I remember because I was sat getting a ferry to France or something.
Oh, that's
And that's when women's football probably kicked off then, when England did well. It was good that they won that because there has been a lot more broadcasting of it and interest in it, especially.
It was taken more seriously. I think that's the best way to put it. Because it's been rising for the past decade, but
Yeah, well, it's the England team that won some of it. So.
The only England team in probably 90% of people's lifetime now.
Yeah. But no, it was good when they won. Everyone was honking the horns. My mum was joining in, raging feminist, so she was banging her horn, shouting about how they were better than the men's team. But yeah, no, I feel like I think they shouldn't let the pressure get to them because obviously they're going to be one of the favourites as the reigning champions for the tournament in 2025. And they've got some good players coming back. Lauren James has come back from injury. Nikita Paris is in the team for the first time since 2022. She scored 4 in 4. So I feel like we should be all right.
Yeah, you look at that squad and it's a really nice balanced squad. Like Mary Earps is in goal, or one of the goalkeepers, should I say. An older keeper now, possibly past the prime, but the experience that she can add to some of the young players. And then you look at like Ella Toon, brilliant midfielder for United Women. And then you've got like some of the younger players as well, like Laura Blindkill-Brown. It's a great mix of like experience and youth, quality, different qualities as well.
They've done well. I think it's always tough being an international manager, especially. talking about like a way to get a balance of form, young informed players, and then some of the older players that might not be playing as well, but they know the international game very well. They know what's expected of them. They're not going to let the pressure get to them, especially in the big games against the likes of Spain. But I feel like it is good they're giving the younger players a chance, because they are going to be the players for the next like three tournaments that the women's are going to have. So it's good to get the experience out there right now and get them comfortable before the big tournament.
Is there something that Thomas Tuchel could learn as England manager from the England women's setup? Because Gareth Southgate continually was said to have picked his favourites, and there were obvious choices that were left out who were in form. Is there something that England men can learn from the England women?
Yeah, I feel like the England women it is a very good run team. I feel like they've done well. There's obviously great unity and lots of positivity, and there's less controversy around the whole thing. But yeah, Tuchel's not going to games though, is he? He's like only gone to half the games. It's come out today or something like that.
Yeah, he's been to 17 out in the 47 days that he's been working.
Yeah, but no, I think England women's. I think they've got it completely right. I think they'll be really optimistic for the Euros coming ahead, and I feel like we should be as well. I feel like it should be a good summer.
Yes, I agree with you, Archie. Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure this week. For debut guest, you've been great.
Cheers, mate.
Defending the tune.
I do. Yeah. Well, I'll be back if we lose again, but actually, I'll be back if we win. If we win the Carabao Cup, I'll be back in it. I'll wear my Hawaiian Joe Linton top. Yeah. And I'll sit
You've got
here.
A Hawaiian Joe Linton
I do,
top.
with Joe Linton's face
right
plastered all over it. That's a promise to you. I will be on, and I will.
If you lose the
like
Carabao Cup final, will you wear the Hawaiian Joe Linton top every day for a month?
What? Where? What, in uni?
Yeah, in uni.
I'm going to rock up to one of Ducker's lectures.
Rock up to every single lecture with that on, please.
I don't think I can promise you that, 'cause this is there's video footage of this promise going out, so I'll wear it. I'll wear it on a night out. I'll give you that.
Perfect.
Okay.
We'll work on this bet. But this has been your sports show on a Wednesday. You can find everything that we do on Shock TV. It's been directed and produced by Mr. Aaron Walkden. Next up, we do have the news. Thank you very much.